Hello, everyone, and welcome back to round one, back nine action at the PDGA Champions Cup, the inaugural major, the first major of the 2022 season. I am Jeremy Koling, joined by Paul Ulibarri, and we have a little bit of action going on here on our feature card. Ricky Wysocki with 4 under. Right behind him is Ulibarri at 3 under, followed by Linus at 1 and Adam at even par. But man, look at those front nine scores, Paul.
Pretty good. I mean, the front nine's definitely the harder of the back nines, and 7 under. Are you
of the
kidding?
Back nines. Of the nines. Yeah.
Wow.
It is a difficult nine.
Like, it literally flabbergasted my mind.
Yeah, 7 under is
Couldn't even say it
insanely
right.
good, and some 6 unders as well. Let's move on. Hole 10, par 4, 606 feet. This hole has progressively gotten easier through the years. This used to be one of the harder birdies to get. But that second half of this hole has opened up quite a bit. The tee shot is still the same, though, very tight. And what an insanely good drive that was. That was amazing.
Must have got a good kick off a bunch of trees or something.
No, that was absolutely pure. Wow.
Thanks for saying that.
You set me up
I did.
to tell you how good your shot was.
Mine is a little, or no, that's Ricky, a little early to the left, but he's going to be able to lean out and do some sort of sidearm Ricky Wysocki stuff.
I respect that play. You've got me on that a couple times now over the years. I'll have to keep that in mind in the future.
Also, similar position as Ricky, he's going to have some sort of reach out sidearm. I find it interesting, his pull through, how it's kind of low.
Yeah.
And it's not high.
It's
Something that I haven't seen a lot of as far as form goes.
It's another one of the beautiful things about our sport, disc golf and golf, the numbers of ways that you can throw a disc and make it your own.
I'm going to have to go give it a go. Try to, like, release it early like that. All of a sudden, you're like...
You just figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, I've never tried this before. Adam's tried that before. Beautiful approach.
Harder than he made it look as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a little bit farther in,
Yep.
and Ricky has almost nothing there to progress to the green at least.
Looks like he didn't hurt himself. Just the disc taking the brunt of the branches. And a good standout approach there. That was actually quite difficult to get up and down to save the par. And look, I mean, I don't know if I've ever really seen many this long on this hole. This is just absolutely blasted off the tee.
Yeah, and then to top it off, then I literally throw the worst upshot of all time.
It gets through
and
everything.
it just gets through everything. Yeah, super lucky.
Sometimes you just earn the birdie, and the course knows.
Well, it's not done yet. So.
Sometimes you just earn the birdie, and the course knows.
There's a good par save.
Linus,
Standard.
Linus earned the par. Paul. Sometimes you just earn the birdie, and the course knows. Okay, good. You had me nervous for a second.
No spoilers, you know?
I appreciate that. Ricky, a good scramble par.
And it's just a great
And this is a good scramble
upshot,
birdie.
yeah. To this point, and then that's gimme. That's bird. Back to 1 under. He is battling.
Yeah, he's gone bogey, 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 par, bogey, and then back-to-back birdies. And now he's back to 1 under now for the first time of the tournament with a couple of birdies back-to-back. And we are on to hole 11. Par 3, 420 feet, blind Anheuser, just turns the whole way. Gotta go distance, I think. Maybe a flippy fairway driver if you really throw it hard, but it...
Interesting little bugger, because it's
Yeah,
not
it
as far
is.
right as you think, but you kind of have to try to go right, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
You have to try to overturn it to get the right amount of turn. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And that catches one of those annoying trees that looks like the shot's pretty much on its way to in the circle, and then nope. See if this one can stay clean. Nope. See, that's the thing that's really tough about this, because that looks like those lines. I thought that those shots were great, but it's a little bit straighter with a later turn if you really want to avoid all the trees. See if Ricky gets this right. See this? I like this more. Doesn't quite get the turn on it.
Twizzler.
But that was, if that held the turn, he was really heading towards that last gap, which is the biggest, most prominent gap.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was the better of the shots. I think this hole, as I'm watching and I've watched a few cards play it, I think it plays straighter than we think. Because, like, this shot hyzers out, and we get up there and he's right around
Circle 3?
Yeah, no, circle 2 edge.
Yeah.
So he, you know, he's got to look, and it completely hyzered out. So I think it's straighter than maybe we think from the tee.
And that was an annoying tree.
Yes.
Ricky known to knock down a couple of those per round, and he's already made one of those for par earlier on the front 9. So I guess what I'm saying is there's no more left for him. You make one of those and you're done for the round.
You know, you see how he was pin high there?
Yeah.
Linus? And he was only 50, 55.
Oh, Adam, way farther back than I thought. And that's an annoying bogey to take.
Very. Well, the height was bad. The line was bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Distance was good.
Somebody in my card said, nice height as I airballed a jump putt today. I said, well, that's certainly one of the two things that you have to get right. Nice height, I guess, is it's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. That's a nicer thing than I would have probably said.
As Billy Crump would say, you have torturance and furtherance. Hole 12, iconic par 5. It's really just one of the great par 5s in our sport, in my opinion. A couple different ways to play it, but you're going to see most of the people try to just go straight. Basically, down here is where your choices really come into play. Are you going to go the big, wide hyzer route, or are you going to go down the straight, narrow, skinny gap, which is obviously a straighter line to the pin, but the kicks are way worse. Going with the ESP nuke.
Stay right. Stay right.
Just trying to go down that gap right there. Man, you've thrown a couple of the better drives I've seen on this course so far on this back 9. It's got to be feeling good.
And this one goes through the early gap, but the power and the little boink off the tree puts him in a nice position.
That's what power will get you.
It'll get you boinks. Linus.
It's
I
turning over.
like this shape. Obviously, it turns
Yeah.
a little bit too much, but the Anheuser drifting into that gap, I feel like is the proper play.
It's going to keep you in the
Exactly.
fairway. Whereas your shot, which hit the gap perfect, it just still skipped a little bit more left
Yes.
than you'd like. So Adam kind of throwing that flex shot down the middle, which is a way harder shot to throw.
Right, but if he hits that other gap with that
Yep.
same shot, he's got a dead straight, I would say, 400 foot in for eagle.
And still, birdie is still in play for Linus. Now it gets really tricky, though. You really have to commit way right or dead center. You can't just do that in between.
And Ricky comes to me and he says, Paul, just play the hyzer, because if you get a really good skip as he hits a tree at the end of that flight, he says if you play it out there, you can get a 50-footer. And I'm like, what? No, you can't. So I go this way, clunk a tree.
Oh, you try to go the straight gap.
And then I realize, Paul, he's the number one player in the world,
Yeah.
dummy.
Yeah, listen to him.
And now he has like a 90-footer, and I'm in
Right.
the woods.
Right.
But it's interesting because I feel like this gap, although it shows you the basket, that hyzer gap is the smarter play.
It's the
for sure.
it's the wider line, and I mean, if you're playing for the birdie, then this is the way to go. Linus at this point is going to have to make a really long one if he wants to get the birdie, but I think he's in his mind probably surrendered to the par, which is fine. You still have a good look at the birdie though.
Got away with it. Didn't kick right off of those trees. So it gave me a little gap.
Adam pulls this one so wide, and he
Got away with it.
barely gets away with it. And I mean, it's parked, but that was not what he wanted that shape of that shot to look like.
So notice this. I mean, he's about 100 feet, maybe less, probably about 80.
Oh!
And he almost knocks it down after hitting a tree.
And that was for eagle.
Yeah, so you
Wow.
can go back door hyzer and maybe get a 50-footer. I never even thought about that. Have you seen anybody get that close?
No, the only time I've ever seen anyone get close for eagle is going up the middle. But yeah, I mean, if you got Ricky's power and accuracy and you can putt as long as he can, then I think anything's possible.
Right.
Putt looks good, Paul.
Thank you.
Good stretch over the last 6 holes as well. 5 down the last 6, and you're 5 under now.
I feel like that's the mark you really want to beat. That should be the worst. It's like a 5 under to 4
For the round?
under. Yes, to start the tournament.
Yeah.
If you can finish at those marks, then you're not stoked, but you didn't lose the tournament.
We touched on that a little bit on the front 9, how there's the 100-player field. 97 of those 100 players are 1,000 rated, and 40% of the field is cashing. This is going to be one of the hardest tournaments to cash at. I mean,
I think it's going to be the hardest.
maybe of all time.
Yes, I think.
There's been some doozies, but this is going to be up there for sure in the end. It's going to be a all-out battle, and even if you get last cash, you're going to have to play phenomenal to do so.
Absolutely.
Forehand going super flippy nuke. And it just never really hyzers, but down the fairway for the most of the way, so it should be a pretty short approach to get the par.
Yeah, it's not a hole that I'm really thinking of getting.
Yeah. And Ricky, again, with the elbow issues, unable to really lean into the forehand the way he'd like. But, oh, my gosh, does it matter?
No.
Pass the basket with a backhand turnover.
Doesn't matter.
What?
Pretty.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that on this hole with a backhand. That's really great, but I'm still blown away with what I just saw from Ricky. That was insane. Yeah, if you haven't walked out here in Appling, Georgia, at Wildwood Park, W.R. Jackson, hole 13, you can't really truly appreciate the dogleg shape of this hole, and a backhand just doesn't really set up well for the angle, in my opinion. Am I wrong?
No, it's extremely difficult. It has to fly about 320 feet, which is far, and then kind of break direct
And then
right.
break.
Yeah.
Wow. What a birdie. That is just disgusting. As we talk about the hardest field to cash in of all time, once again, another thing we touched on the front 9, but worth reiterating, every single player that cashes at this event, MPO, FPO, is going to cash over $1,000. So if you do play well, you're going to be handsomely rewarded. And hats off to the PDGA for all they're doing for this, and obviously trying their best to make this a prestigious major carrying on into the future. And for one, I think I speak for both of us, I'm super happy to have another major in the mix for the season schedule.
Absolutely. Hole 14, par 5. On the shorter side, 837, but it's because another dog leg from right to left and then from left to right. So it's really tough it has a certain area you gotta go, I would say, right at about 400 dead straight. If you go too far, you're pinched. If you go early, look at this corridor. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And then talk about a lace job. I mean, that is picture perfect. The trees that he hyzers in front,
Whoa.
with power, sometimes you get stuck behind those, but somehow he navigates it just perfectly with, I mean,
The evolution.
that's the best drive I've ever seen on
That's
this
the best
hole.
one ever thrown this hole, probably.
And I've seen lots of shots.
The evolution of Ricky Wysocki's game throughout the years is just amazing. It should be chronicled in the documentary. We used to have fun joking about his errant form and how he would just make putts from the woods, and we would call them voids. It would be void. You throw a great shot, you're parked. He throws a bad shot, he's in the wood. You make a 60-footer, he'd call your drive void. And it was a joke. And we said it for years because he couldn't get the disc down the fairway. And now he's one of the best throwers that we've ever seen in the sport.
Absolutely, yeah. And putters. And then you combo those up, and then that's why he's throwing shots like that. 6 under par at major championships after 4 holes.
Linus with a really bad place way off left and getting close to the edge.
Doesn't get out, though. I catch a really good break, and this kicks me dead center fairway. So I'm able to play, I mean, way back, of course, but I'm able to play a shot into really perfect position.
And that's a really good shot because you want to get left to open up the angle on that third shot. Now, if you get too far right, you almost have 0 shot, even though you're only 120 feet away. So, Adam, we've seen this play too many times today, just jump putting back to the fairway, and that just gets old. But he's
frustrating. I mean, this is a tournament that Adam has the complete game to win.
Oh, wow. Giving up the body for the roller, and Ricky is around the corner. How close does this get? Oh, my gosh.
Circle.
That was insanely good.
He's about, I would say, 5 feet outside the circle right there. That's just fantastic.
And I think he's throwing the roller there regardless if his elbow's hurt or not. I think that's just the play for that second shot. The way that it bends right at the end, it does suit a forehand, but it's a big forehand, in much better shape for a roller. And Adam's going to be in Scramble Town to try to save that par. Wow.
Nice, dude.
What a shot. Oh my goodness, Paul.
Filthy shot there from Linus. Probably the best shot of the round. I mean, it's just a tight shot.
It is criminal that we're not replaying that shot. It's not, we don't often show approach replays. But if a shot from 315 feet ever needed a replay, it's that one right there. That was picture perfect hyzer flip late turn.
And that's going to be for birdie, right? No, that's a par.
Yes, he's scrambling. And another player is scrambling, just having an accordion round. Adam.
No scrambles necessary for this guy.
Oh, wow. Eagle. Special hole for Ricky Wysocki.
Nice save, man. Thank you.
Second hardest hole on the course is hole 15. Par 4, 714 feet. Years ago, this hole was hard when the basket was 180 feet shorter. And now it's just even harder. Turnover blind through a tight gap is the predominant play that you're going to see. But from there, you can see where this drone is flying. This is the option for the player who throws a great shot. Through those tight trees, downhill all the way, casual creek to the right of the basket. But man, this one has all the obstacles.
Ricky says for this to get up, and then when
Makes the camera guys turn.
yeah, when we get up there, like I can't even.
That shot
Really?
is so good.
Can't even really.
Wow. Amazing. It didn't look like much right off the initial angle. It looked like a good shot, but I did not know it had that second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth gear. And the skip was perfect.
I've
Wow.
never.
We're seeing some all-timers
Yeah.
just this round.
I've never seen anybody that far down the fairway on one shot.
And this is a 4-round event, so we're going to see a lot of shots.
He's gonna have a shot looking straight down at the basket to where that's what makes this hole so hard. Is
It's
you have
always
to
blind.
go up and then down, and a disc doesn't like to fly like that. Just so you know, as far as being able to control the angle of landing.
And Adam a little bit too straight, and he is obviously, this is getting to him right now. He's on an annoying trend right now of birdie or bogey, birdie, birdie, bogey, birdie,
Look
birdie,
at this
bogey.
line. Now he's in a tough spot there just to save the par, and then he laces that line.
Yeah, that was nice. This is just like you're basically almost batting 0% from that spot right there.
Yeah, I got nothing.
There's just so little. Hard stance. Were you right by the creek bed?
Yeah.
So you have a slope stance. I mean, that's just a tough place. And that's where you find yourself in so many of those places on this hole. Here's a good illustration of the going up and then back down the hill. And Adam's having the wrong end of a
look at
field
where
day.
he is. He's looking down at it. Like he just does a little touchy guy.
Wow. Okay, you're not going to see anyone play these last 2 holes better.
No.
It's not really even possible.
Ridiculous.
Wow, Adam almost canned that one from infinity away. I think that in the next 3 rounds, we're going to have top card every time. We're going to have the people that are in the tournament for the win, for the major. We're not going to see a better drive on hole 10. We're not going to see a better drive on 12 than Adams, maybe. We're not going to see a better drive than Ricky's on 14 and 15. Oh, that's frustrating. Seen some really impressive shots, and obviously we've seen some of the other stuff as well, and that's... I think we might have even missed a couple of the shots there. That triple bogey... Adam's going to go... Woo!
That was worse than my first putt.
Yeah.
And that one counts. Sometimes you got to just thank the lucky stars up there. Oh, boy. I got ice, man. I didn't have my towel, and then my caddy already thought that I was going to make it, which I should have. So he was 1,000 feet away, and I'm like sitting there with a wet putter, and then I completely airball it.
Somehow both of you were right and wrong at the same time. Oh, so that was an interesting development. Hole 15.
Yes.
Half the card is really happy to go to hole 16, and Ricky's just over there just cruising along.
Cruise control, man. I mean, like you said, you're not going to see anybody play those 2 holes better.
Oh, don't hit that.
Or with as much ease.
Yeah,
I mean, he did fall down, so it wasn't as easy as it could have been.
On his approach on the par 5.
He could have been a little smoother with his efforts.
Jeez, yeah.
But, I mean, come
guess.
on. That is a par 5.
He's got to look for the birdie here, a longer putt coming up.
Look at this butter nut squash.
He throws the disc well, doesn't he, Paul?
Yeah, watch this follow flight.
That's how it's shaped. The backhand turnover opens up the angle of the shot so much more. The inside forehand line is pretty dicey.
Yeah, if you turn it too much, there is a creek to the right.
And the OB line goes way up the hill. It's not just the creek. That's a very straight approach for this hole that's Anheuser. That's kind of impressive. You didn't really have much turn to that at all, and yet you're only 25 feet away.
Yeah, I'm trying not to play the tourney shot because when I do that, I yank a little more often, and so I decided I've been throwing it pretty good straight. Throw it straight.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Now there's the Adam that we know and love.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde right now.
Buckets.
And Ricky wishes he had that one back.
I
Have a scary bid.
I think he had to put more power than he wanted on it because of how the tree kind of leaned over to the left. The proper height to kind of give it that safe bid was gone.
Yeah.
And so if he really wanted that, he would have had to fire it. And if he fires it, I mean, look at that. He barely missed.
Yeah.
And he's 20,
Right.
20 feet right there.
And
so.
there's OB right behind him, too.
Yeah, I think that was one of those classic scenarios of like, maybe if I accidentally juice it, I might make it.
And Linus getting off that long par train.
Look at that
Welcome
par.
to Birdie Town, buddy.
An important part of getting a PDGA membership is helping grow the game. Membership dollars are used to bolster competition of all levels, from local C-tiers to majors. Tools like Digital Scorecard and Tournament Manager help events run seamlessly. Your PDGA membership also gives you access to Disc Golf Network coverage for select events and a 50% discount to their full coverage package. Help grow the sport and get started today. Visit pdga.com/join.
Hole 17, par 4, 588, one of the harder holes on the course, obviously, for this. I mean, the drone's telling you everything you need to know. Dead straight as far as you could possibly throw it, which was about 440, playing 440 uphill. Complete dog leg right, and then you have this super fast green, super fast fairway. I did see a few people do the right gap.
Yeah, that's no longer a mandatory. It was at one point forcing people away from hole 16, but that design has changed now. And yeah, that's going to work for Linus. Up left is great. It's actually a good angle. It's the pin from there. That is saucy. Oh, that is so good. Almost able to see the pin from there. Can you see the pin from there?
I can.
That is such a huge advantage. And Adam, so much power with his forehand, but this is going to be hyzering right, which makes things really difficult unless you get a ton of distance. Didn't quite get enough, but I think he may have a lean out backhand Anheuser opportunity. Ricky is in trouble, and actually with that tree kick, you see him pointing right. There's the old fairway for hole 16 is wide open, and it's actually a pretty fair way to get up to the basket here on 17.
So he just throws to the bottom of the hill there, and that'll kind of give you a real good insight on that injury. Like normally he would go full go there, and he could, with his power, get to the top of that hill.
Look at this flex shot from Linus Carlsson, folks. That was
Very
beautiful.
Good. Yes.
Tough to balance his upper body and deliver that throw. That's one of the things that makes this hole so difficult. Ricky, a good scramble to get anywhere near the pin. Playing the hole a little bit differently.
You suck, dude.
I'll just do my own commentary there for you guys.
Self-talk is so important, folks. You really got to remind yourself how bad you are when you do something.
Hey, I didn't say it before I released it.
Yes,
I
correct.
said it after.
Right.
I was just clearly stating the obvious in that moment.
Adam kind of quickly throwing his approach and wanting to get off the course as soon as possible, but as if in as few as
He wants to get out of there, guys.
I want to get out of here too. In as few throws as possible. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but scrambling away and getting the par and could have been a lot worse. And Ricky's
Look at
probably,
this birdie, though.
yeah, that was very well done. That's an impressive par from Rick. So no harm, no foul. 1 birdie for Linus. And pars for the others. Moving on to the easiest hole in the course, because there is eagle potential right there in front of you. You see this straight fairway here, and it's just begging for these bigger players to really rip. Big shot, get up here to the left, and set yourself up for a hyzer second shot. But for a lot of people, this ends up being a pretty tough hole because you can kick so far left or so far right if you're just inches off on your tee.
Kind of a small gap, honestly, too. The fact that this is the easiest hole on the course, I get it, but I'm also surprised.
And like you said, those skinny trees really produce those unpredictable tree kicks, and they've actually thinned out the woods here. And because of that, when you do get a tree kick, it's easier to scramble, but it also means that your kicks are going to go farther in the woods than they have in the past.
Hit again. Hit again.
Adam out of sorts right now, and he is hoping to just find a way up the fairway here. If you're out of position but in bounds, you can still scramble that birdie.
Come on, hurry. Oh, actually, that's not too bad.
So aside from your drive, really no one's in right position. Ricky can get the birdie, but you really want to be left side. Right side is a lot more difficult.
Little tight there for Linus. That had potential to get into the landing zone, but catches the last bitty tree. Adam goes with the sidearm to the top, almost to the top of the hill.
Oh, so close. I mean, you're definitely lining up the eagle there for sure. But those skinny trees and the cut out fairways, that produces those big, unpredictable kicks. What is Ricky doing here? Is he going outside?
Yeah, he's throwing the roller that
Wow.
didn't know was a thing out to the right, roll it back in.
And that's not something you ever practice. It's just the situational awareness there for Ricky and just the scramble instincts.
Yeah. And then Adam does the same thing.
Yeah, going forehand through that gap out into the field. That's where, when this isn't a major, there's a lot of practice baskets out there, and that's where people are hanging out and congregating. But it's fully a part of the hole, and Ricky and Adam both using it to their advantage.
This is a good little look to see what I have. More options.
Okay, well, you're putting for par still.
Yeah, par.
Yeah.
There's the easiest bird ever.
Yeah, really.
Linus for the par. Very good putt.
A whole lot of pars, only a few birdies. 3 under is the final score for Linus in round 1. And a couple bogeys? Or was it just
Two
one?
bogeys. Yeah, I had two
couple
bogeys.
bogeys. But overall, good putting and some really good tee shots. Something to definitely build off of. You know you can play a lot better. And
Yeah.
you'll need to if you want to climb up that leaderboard.
Yes, botched the last 2 holes up. I had easiest up ever. But, I mean, let's focus on the good. The good is that
Wow.
10 under mark right there, which is tied for 3rd place. Ricky Wysocki lighting up that back 9.
3rd place. That means there must be some better scores. Oh, some fire emoji. 11 unders. Corey Ellis and Casey White. They will be splitting Innova's bounty for $250, going to the hot round in both divisions for every round.
Dang, I didn't know that.
There's a bounty for hot round. A little bit extra incentive. Maybe
My
go out there,
5
shoot a
down
little
tomorrow-
13
My 5
pack.
down tomorrow. Hopefully that's that's good, baby.
That's right. Good shooting tomorrow, by the way. Thank you to the Founders Club. Thanks for watching First Round here in Appling, Georgia for the first ever Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. We'll see you guys tomorrow for round 2 in action.
Thank you.